Well, Robert Mueller is playing hardball with potential key witnesses, and at least one is now threatening to fire back. Roger Stone associate Jerome Corsi tweeting he has instructed his attorneys to file a criminal complaint against Mueller's special counsel and the DOJ for prosecutorial misconduct in his case. Corsi says he rejected an offer from Mueller's office to plead guilty to lying to investigators about his alleged interactions with WikiLeaks.
If the United States has come to it, I'll spend the rest of my life in jail, but I will not swear under God to a lie. I won't do it.
All right, let's discuss with National Security Attorney Bradley Moss and Fox News contributor, former Republican congressman from Utah, Jason Chaffetz. Welcome to you both, gentlemen.
Good evening. How you doing?
Thank you.
I'm very good, but there are just minute-by-minute developments in this Mueller case. So many different people involved. Let's talk about the fact that the president said in the interview with the New York Post that he's not necessarily ruling out a pardon for Manafort. Bradley, what do you make of that?
Oh, the president's been doing this since the beginning. He likes to talk. He likes to go into these conversations about things he might do, he hypothetically could do. And to an extent, he's allowed to do this. It's just political commentary. But the concern, especially given what was gone on in the last couple of days, is whether or not he is dangling a pardon to Paul Manafort. We know that there was this joint defense agreement that continued between the two legal teams even after Paul Manafort struck the plea deal and was supposed to cooperate. We now know that the special counsel is angry with Paul Manafort for allegedly continuing to lie, at least about his business dealings, but what else we don't quite know yet. We're waiting for Friday's hearing. Whether or not the president is doing this just because it's how he likes to talk, or if this is part of a strategy on his part and his legal team to try to dangle a pardon, to try to get Paul Manafort to stay quiet, we're waiting to see, but that cannot be the way this works.
Okay, well, there are a lot of folks out there objecting, saying it's an impeachable offense, that it's unethical and all kinds of other things, but the president has said there's not even been a discussion of it yet, but it's not off the table. Rudy Giuliani says he'll be treated, Paul Manafort, like anybody else who would be up for a potential pardon. Now, in that same New York Post interview, the president said that he believes, by his estimation, that Paul Manafort, Jerome Corsi, and Roger Stone have all been encouraged to lie. Here is Rush Limbaugh's take on that.
If you're a Manafort, what would you do? They're asking you to lie while prosecuting you for lying. If you lie to them, even if they've asked you to, they can come back and later accuse you of lying to. This is an untenable situation and circumstance, and it's all rooted in the fact that they've got nothing.
Jason, what do you think they have?
I don't think they have much. Remember, what they prosecuted and went after Manafort for had nothing to do with Russia and collusion or anything like that. And so I don't think they have much. The president has constitutional opportunities to use a pardon. He's answering a question from a reporter. He's not dangling out there. I think what Senator Warner said was absolutely, totally wrong. The president has the ability to pardon anybody that he wants. And he certainly wasn't barking about that when President Obama, President Clinton, and others were pardoning people. It's just an attack on Donald Trump.
Okay, so in the meantime, we have a number of interviews out there by Jerome Corsi. He says that he's willing to kind of roll the dice at this point, essentially saying that he has been truthful, he has amended where he made mistakes, and that he is not going to play ball with this plea deal. In the meantime, now we know that Manafort is facing the sentencing on Friday because the Mueller team says he has lied about all these things, Bradley, that you mentioned. Where does this leave the president, Bradley?
Well, you know what? This is coming to an end here in the sense of all the aspects of the investigation are coming towards the close. We now getting the final parts of whatever may or may not be a collusion angle. We know that the special counsel is going after Roger Stone. That's where Jerome Corsi came into it. If there was any type of criminal conspiracy that involved the Trump campaign, it's likely going to involve that WikiLeaks angle. We know the president's already given the written responses to the special counsel. He's already given those explanations. Whether or not the special counsel follows up remains to be seen if there's additional questions. We're looking at this probably being done within the next 6 months, and if the president would just let the process play out, odds are he would survive legally, if not also politically.
Well, and so much of this is the court of public opinion. But, Jason, you know probably better and understand this better than any of us. It's one thing when the GOP is running the House. It's going to be another when Democrats are running the House and the investigations that may come up. The president also said in an interview that if they harass him, he thinks it'll be the best thing that ever happens to him. He'll be able to counterpunch him. But he says he'll also declassify FISA warrant applications and other things that would be devastating to the Democrats. But he's holding off until he needs to use those documents. What do you make of that strategy?
Well, look, the Democrats have already foreshadowed. They've named, I think, 83 different investigations. They've presupposed those outcomes. You got to remember that you have the likes of Lindsey Graham and others in the Senate that can play ball with them like that. James Langford, Cory Gardner, other people can go back after this stuff as well. I think that the House is going to do what they can to embarrass Donald Trump on a daily basis, but try to extract documents out of the Department of Justice, even when it was Republicans trying to get it from Republicans, was exceptionally difficult. So I think the president's on solid ground, and I think the Democrats will once again overplay their hand.
Well, a lot of Republicans are calling for him to declassify those things already, so we will see where they end up. Jason and Bradley, thank you both very much.
Thank you.